Good day, children. Welcome to Mala's classes. I will be taking Standard 8, 9 and 10 Social Sciences. But before I begin teaching, I would like to tell you all that this virtual class is not a substitute for your teacher. The teacher in the school knows you very well. So, it doesn't mean that you're not going to pay attention in the class. You need to pay attention in the school too. Having said this, welcome everyone to this class, Standard 8 Social Sciences. Now, before I begin, I would like to ask a question. Alright, first of all, tell me why all of you are at home and not going to regular school. I can hear someone say that we are not allowed to go because there is a pandemic. Alright, so what is a pandemic? Somebody will let me know that what is a pandemic. Okay. How did it start? Where did it start? These are the three questions that one needs to answer if at all you want to understand an event. So, our lesson in Standard 8 History, lesson number 1 is how, when and where. So, I will put this how, when and where. This answers the question for any event. So, anything in life. Anything in life, any activity, you need to answer these three questions. How, when and where. For example, who invented the steam engine? How was it invented? Where was it invented? Okay. And when was it invented? For any invention, you need that. Okay. For any event, oh, there was a battle fought, the First World War fought. Who fought it? Okay, how did they fight? When did they fight? And where did they fight? So, in history, we need to answer these three questions in order to understand any event or anything that has taken place in time. So, question is, why should we know history? We need to know history because history is nothing but the story of man. And we are human beings. We need to know our story. So let's have a look. So when you say history, then everybody thinks, history means only dates. Teacher, who is going to remember dates? It's so difficult to remember dates. But all dates are not, you need not mug up all the dates. You need not keep in mind all the dates. Sometimes you can't pinpoint a particular date for any event. For example, when was tea found? Who, found out how to make tea? It was in and around a particular period. You won't have a particular date on which somebody found the tea leaves and they made tea and on this day only they drank it. No. Sometimes we need to just say in and around this period. Or we also use the term before and after this period. Okay, so history does have dates. We need to know about dates. Dates are important. Why are dates important? Because they tell us about events which have happened in time. Okay, events which have happened in time. Therefore, dates are important. Then, do we have to remember all the dates? No, not required. You need to remember dates which demarcate. Now, why are dates needed? Dates are needed because they demarcate, right? So, they demarcate one period from the other. That is why dates are needed. And that is why you need to remember these dates. Then the question arises, teacher, is it easy? How can we make it easy to remember dates? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to periodize. Okay, we need to periodize. What does periodize mean? Say for example, if you are taking the life of Mahatma Gandhi, you will need to know the date, his date of birth. You will need to know his childhood. You will need to know about, how he grew up, what was his educational qualification, and when, during which period he became so popular and he became among the masses that he was called the Mahatma. So we need to periodize. Right? Now, how do we periodize? We were thinking, how do we periodize? We have already done, periodization of our history. For example, you read Standard 6 history, which talks about ancient history, and we talk about in Standard 6. In Standard 7, we have learned medieval history, and in Standard 8, what are we going to learn? Modern history. Okay, modern history. Now, how have we classified this? On the basis of the time period when it happened. So we have periodized, we have demarcated ancient, medieval and modern history. But then, there was this person called James Mill. Okay. In the year 1870, he came to India. And what did he do? He surveyed the place and he thought that he would write history. What history would he write? He would write the history of India. How is he going to write the history of India? Imagine a foreigner coming to our country and writing our history, which has taken place from so many years. Things have been going on. Man, civilizations have existed. People have grown. People have learned things. Society has modernized. People have changed with changing times. Our religion, our culture, our languages. Then how can a foreigner who is not even part of this country come and write about Indian history? Well, he wrote it. And how did he write it? He divided history into what was called as Hindus and Hindu history, Muslims, and not the Christians, but British history. So, he divided history into Hindu history, Muslim history, and British history. Was it correct? In a country, people are Hindus and Muslims and Buddhists and Jains, and we had so many religions in our country. We had people who believed and people who did not believe. How can you categorize like this that Hindu history is separate from Muslim history? You cannot separate like that, right? The Hindus are also eating chapati bhaji, Muslims are also eating chapati bhaji. Their chapati bhaji is different from ours. No. So, food is food. How can you demarcate and say that something was wrong with this? Now, why do you think he wrote like that? He wrote like that because he wanted to show that the British were far, far superior than the Hindus and the Muslims. According to him, the Hindus and the Muslims were not at all good, in the sense they could never live peacefully. They would always fight with each other. They cannot live in peace together. And all their small kingdoms, the kings were fighting, so they were no good. If there is anybody who could civilize them, they were barbaric. According to James Mill, the Hindus and Muslims, the people living in this country were barbaric. How untrue. Why? Because in fact, the biggest civilizations, the most ancient civilizations, was one of its kind in the world. The Indus Valley civilization was here in India. How can you call us barbaric? We were far more civilized than all the rest of the world, when they did not even know. And we were so highly civilized. So therefore, it is not right to talk about the Hindus and the Muslims as being barbaric or being, uncivilized. But he did that. And he was not right. He was not right. But the beauty is, children, that during this period, he was able to get a lot of information about India. Okay, especially the 250 years when the British ruled in our country. Now, why is it that he was able to get so much of information? Very, very simple. The thing was The British are very, very, very smart people. They believed in surveys. Okay, what is the meaning of surveys? How to explain this word survey? Okay, say for example, now you are going to climb a mountain with your backpack. And what do? You see the tallest mountain and then you say, teacher, I'm going to go and climb that mountain immediately. And you run. Wait, don't do that. All the others are saying, don't do that, don't do that. So he says, no, I can do it. And you run now. And you go up to this point and then teacher knows you cannot climb the mountain just like that. Why? Because the body is not prepared. You have not surveyed the place. You have not surveyed the terrain. You have not surveyed the height of it. Simply like that you have run away on the ground. So, if you want to make this expedition successful, you need to read a lot about that place. You need to know where to camp. You need to know how many days it will take for you to go up and reach the peak. You need to know how many difficulties you will have on the way and so on. That is called as surveying a place. Now, what the British believed in is surveys. How did they survey? Okay, anything and everything in this in India they surveyed. Whether it was on plants, okay, whether on animals, whether on places, whether on soil, whether on weather conditions, okay, whether on rain, availability of rain, whether on rivers, okay, whether on languages spoken, okay. So on everything they surveyed, they had a detailed description of everything. Whether it was anthropology, whether it was sociology, whether it was learning about birds or learning about flowers, botany, you name it. They did a lot of surveys, and that was important. Why? Because if they wanted to levy taxes on a particular in a particular region, they should know the produce. They should know the quality of the land. They should know the availability of water. And then only they can levy the taxes on them, right? And they will know how much profit the people are making. So, they surveyed and surveyed and surveyed. That was one of the reasons why they were very, 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 very successful. Okay, now, not only did they survey, but they also administered very well. Acha. What is this administering very well? How did they administer? Okay. How did they administer? Administer means, do the daily activities of that place in a very nice way, correct way. For example, in your school, who administers the school? You are having a principal who is there. Then you are having a vice principal. Then you are having probably a head teacher. Then you have so many other teachers. Okay. Then under them you have the school captain, and then you have the school vice captain, and then you have the prefects, and then you have the monitors. Okay. So in a school, to administer a school, you have so many people joining, isn't it? To administer it successfully. Then to administer a country, how well you should be prepared. And to be well prepared, what do you require? You require documents. So what we started doing, ever since Clive, who became the first Governor General, what did he do? Every memo that they wrote, every letter that he wrote, every notings that he made, okay, every communication that he had, everything was filed properly and kept. Why was it filed and kept? So that they would sit leisurely, they could discuss about it, they could be critical about it, they could know where they have made mistakes and so on. So this habit of filing everything played a very important role because it helped them to progress. It helped them to administer the country in a very strong way. So, what happened after that? All this was kept, stored. Acha, where was it stored? Abhi store karne ke liye you need something, right? Like a storeroom. So, where did they store? They stored it in all government buildings which all had what was called as a storeroom. And other than government buildings, they also had started storing in museums, okay, in viceroys' palaces, and so on. This was how they kept records. And because of those records, they were able to administer the country very, very, very well. They were very strong. Okay. Now, what had I told you about James Mill? That he had divided the country into history into three parts. So James Mill had said that our history is divided into Hindu history. Indian history should be divided into Hindu history, into Muslim history, and into British history. Now historians were not for it. They said nothing doing. You cannot divide history into such a way, in such a way. So we believe that history should be divided into what is called as ancient history, and then you have what is called as medieval history, and then you have modern history. But modern history, it can be called as colonial history. What is this colonial history? Colonial means when we became a colony of the British, and then we were subjugated by them and we were colonized. What is this colonized, teacher? I don't understand what is colonized. Okay, very simple. Now we use the term colonized. I hope this is clear. So, how were we colonized and when were we colonized? Let's have a look. Okay. It was only in the year, the 1600s, that the ships, the British ships, they crossed and they came in search of spices and condiments into our country. Why did they come for spices and condiments? Very interesting, children. They came for spices because our country had a lot of pepper grown in our country. And pepper was needed by these countries over here. They were cold, at this time they were cold countries. And they needed that pepper to be used in their meat. Till they got spices, they were having only boiled meat. So only when they put those condiments, they began to eat good food. Understand? So that was the reason why the Europeans had come into Asia as well as Africa in order to, conquer them. So what did they do? They came here and slowly, they started, like a big shadow, they started dominating over our country and subjugating us. What is subjugating? Subjugating is nothing but taking away our freedom, taking our political freedom, taking away our social freedom and dominating us. It becomes subjugation. So we became a colony of Britain. So therefore, the history that we are having, we might as well call it as a colonial period instead of calling it as modern times. Okay. So the colonial history tells us a lot about the British rule in India. Why? Because they were able to take reference from all that written evidences. Okay? What is evidences? See, history, cannot be written in the air. You need evidences, proof. ऐसा हुआ था. Okay? You can't say ऐसा हुआ था. कैसे मालूम? पता नहीं. No. पर हुआ था. मैंने सुना था. No सुना था. History requires evidences. So we have already seen in standard 6 and standard 7. You are having what is called as either you have monumental evidences, okay, that is archaeological evidence in the form of monuments, tablets, okay, or it could be what is called as written evidences, which is in the form of writing. So what did we have for you to understand colonial history? We had written evidences. What kind of written evidences we had? We had their memos, we had their letters, we had their notings, we had their documents. Okay, all this helped us to read the history of that time. Understood? That is why for the last 250 years we have lot of evidences for writing history. So we need not divide history into Hindu history, Muslim history and British history. Why they wanted? Because they wanted to show that it was the British only who were advanced, modernized and so on. The Indians were useless. It was we Britishers who came and colonized this place and civilized the people. Ha ha, big joke. We were far more civilized than anybody else. Remember that. Just because you don't know a language of a country doesn't mean that they are uncivilized. That's true. Just because they are, you cannot communicate to them doesn't mean they are uncivilized. Just because they dress differently doesn't mean they are uncivilized. So it needs a lot of understanding and maturity to understand this. Everyone has a mind to think, and everyone as a human being has to grow. So language cannot be the barrier. If you can't understand, it doesn't mean that they are uncivilized. This was not understood by the British. That is why they called us uncivilized. Okay. Now, when you write the history of a place, of a period, only written evidences will do or what? Only written evidences will do? No. Array. Only you don't have this letter was sent on this and this date. This letter was replied in this manner. This king gave so much money. So many taxes, so much taxes were collected. This is not history. History must talk about the common people also. Okay, the common people, their culture, their civilization, everything. How will you come to know about the common people of that time? Very good. Through newspapers, very good. Or through novels, or through autobiographies, okay, of that period. Or if somebody has written some poems, like when you read about Shakespeare, you come to know about the Shakespearean period, how people lived in the society in those days. Okay, so that is how you come to know. So history should also include people, their thoughts. Like when you read about, there were two Chinese travelers called Fahian and Yuan Shao. These two had come into our country, and because they came to our country and went back, we come to know about what kind of changes happened during Gupta period. Okay, so travelers, travelogues, they also bring in a lot of information to us. So history should also include travelogues. Okay, now having said so much, let's see what we have learned so far. Let's revise this whole lesson, right? Let's revise this lesson. So what does this lesson contain? It talks about how, when and where any event in history took place. Okay, which means history is talking about the past. The past means not only about, dates, it's also talking about people. That is why our history book is called as the past, our past. They are not saying it as modern history. They are not calling it as modern history. Our textbook is called as our past. Okay. So, how do we come to know about our past? We come to know about our past because of dates. Okay. Dates are important? Yes, they are important. So, we need dates. What do dates do? They tell us about events. Okay. Dates tell us about events. So, all dates are not that important. Sometimes you cannot pinpoint anything. So, then it will be around, then you will use the words around this period. Okay, so and so thing happened. Right? So when you don't have exact date when something took place, you will write around this period. Then around this period, man learned to grow, wheat, or man learned how to domesticate cattle, or man learned he from a hunter he became an agriculturist. So around this period, you use the terminology. Then dates and events dates are important. First thing. Second thing that we are going to talk is how do we periodize? Okay, how do we periodize? We actually periodize because we need to show that there is a distinct difference between this period and that period. That is why we periodize. Then, who came to our country in 1870? It was James Mill. And what did he do? He wrote the history of India. How did he write the history of India? He divided the history into three periods. Which were the three periods? He divided it into Hindu, Muslim, and British history. Okay. Was it correct? Did we accept it? No, we did not accept it. Alright. So we said British is not right. So what do we call it as? Colonial history. Why do we call it as colonial history? Because at that time we were colony of British. Okay, so we were colonized by them. And then, why do we come to know more about this period? Because we are having what is called as written evidences. Where is this written evidences from? The last 250 years, the British have systematically surveyed things and places and kept everything in the form of documents, documentation. So because of this documentation, and not simple documentation, it is elaborate documentation. And that is why we are able to write the history of the next 250 years very comfortably. And because of that, we are able to build the sequence. But it does not talk about the people, it does not talk about the society. So how do we come to know about the people of that time? Through newspapers, okay, through writings, okay, through novels, okay, through books written in this period, okay, through autobiographies, okay, and so on. So that is how we come to know about the people of this period. Now with this we are completing this unit. What I would like you to do is, please read the textbook, that is the first lesson, and then I would like you to have a look at the questions. Now I want you to open your textbooks. How, when and where is the lesson, and I want you to look into your text questions. They are important. You need to read. Okay, let's see. Let's recall on page number 8. What does it say? The first question. State whether true or false. Okay, James Mill divided Indian history into three periods: Hindu, Muslim, and Christian. Did he divide it as Hindu, Muslim, and Christian? No. He divided it as Hindu, Muslim, and British. So what will you put over here? Is it true or false? It will become false. Second, official documents help us to understand what the people of the country think. Does it tell us what the people of the country think? No, it does not. Because we need to see their newspapers, writings, and novels and books of that time to understand what people think. Third, so second is false. Third one, the British thought surveys were important for effective administration. True, without surveys you cannot have a proper documentation of things. Now, there are three more questions given over there. What is the problem with the periodization of Indian history that James Mill offers? Please look into page number 3 and 4. You can see the answer there given very clearly. On page number 3, it is given very clearly. Okay, what is the problem? The problem is how do we periodize? James Mill, what did he do? He divided Indian history into three periods: Hindu, Muslim, and British. Okay, what was the problem? The problem was that last paragraph, Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe, and then Hindus and Muslim despots ruled the country. Third point, religious intolerance, caste taboos, and superstitious practices dominated social life. and British rule may felt could civilize India. It was only the British. So you have 4 points over there which you can write in your notebook. Okay, then next question. Question number 3. Why did the British preserve official documents? Look into page number 5, please. So when you look into page number 5, why did they? Under administration produces records. Here that you will find one important source is that official record showed. What did it show? It showed every instruction, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation. Okay, that had to be clearly written. And once this was done, things could be properly studied and debated. So why did they keep it? Because they could study and debate on it. And the British also felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. So they set up record rooms attached to all administrative institutions. So that is why they felt that it is needed. How will the information, question number 4, how will the information historians get from old newspapers be different from that found in police reports? Okay. So what will you get from the old newspapers? See, on page number 6, you can see the second line. Official records tell us what the officials thought, what they were interested in, and what they wish to preserve for posterity. These records do not always help us understand what other people in the country felt and what lay behind their actions. But you add the words there. Old newspapers will tell us about what? The next paragraph, about leaders, about reformers, about what they wrote to spread their ideas, about poets, about novelists, about to express their feelings. And in the last paragraph, third line, the tribals and the peasants, the workers in the mines or the poor on the streets. So we would come to know about all of them. So it will not be, the material that you get from old newspapers will be very, very different from the ones which is found in the reports. With this, I complete this chapter 1. I expect you all to read the lesson very carefully and secondly to write the question answers in your notebooks if possible, or you can mark them in order to learn them. Thank you very much.